Welcome to the Rising Consciousness Show, 20 minutes of soulful insights and powerful tools to elevate your life experience and create with higher clarity, intention, and vision. I'm Tara Antler, intuitive healer and soul coach.
And I'm King Gabriel, spiritual teacher and practitioner. And we are the co-founders of Ascension Academy of Life,
a global center for spiritual growth, intuitive healing, and soul alignment.
Get ready to blast off.
Grand Rising, beautiful beings. I'm so grateful to be here for some plug-in and power up. I'm coming to you live from my mom and dad's new place. I wanted to talk to you guys about ditching the distractions and getting super clear in your spiritual path. It's time for spiritual focus now. And I'm going to talk to you about why I think that is. I'm going to give you a little update regarding my parents, how they're doing, because everybody's been asking and wondering what's been going on and how everybody's feeling. So we'll give you a little update on that as well. And I want to talk about grief this morning. I want to talk about shifting back to what's natural and really being on purpose. What are you being called up and into right now? Because I believe that when you have these big spiritual awakening moments in your life, I'm personally going through one of those, we are called back to what is natural. We're called back to what is our clearest spiritual truth. And so I want to dive deeper into that today with you all. For those of you that are just getting to know me, my name is Tara Antler. I am a spiritual teacher, mentor, intuitive healer, and soul coach. And I've been working with clients for over 22 years, helping people clear out the ick and the stick, that stuff that doesn't serve us, be able to connect to our higher self, and then be able to bring it in, bring it down, ground it so that we can really create a beautiful experience here. I call it the heaven on earth experience. And so this is what we're here to do. And sometimes we have to walk through the shadows, and we got to walk through the fiery pits, and we have to walk through the ick and the stick and the muck and all the things to be able to truly create the heaven on earth experiences, especially when we experience crazy situations that come out of left field and throw us for a little bit of a loop, right? And so it takes something within us to be able to come back to our center, to come back to our core, to come back to our truth, and come back to our spiritual self in the midst of chaos. And I'm going to talk about this in terms of a general sense of the world, but also very personal, because there's a lot of personal experience I can draw upon right now. So let me say hi. I'm going to pause for a second, say hi to some people, and then we'll continue on this conversation. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I didn't have time to do anything with my hair this morning because I'm caring for both my parents right now. Aria is staying with me here at my mom and dad's house. And so I said, this is the best I could do this morning. That's about it. That's where we get. It's so great to have you here. Hi, Lori. Life is so crazy right now, isn't it? I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I want to help you guys be able to move through some of that. Okay. Hi, Tika. Thanks for joining in. And when you arrive, say hi. Let me know how y'all are feeling. Let me know what's going on in your world as well, too. So give you a little update because I want to draw upon real life experience. You guys know that I do my best to keep it real, keep it authentic, keep it really transparent with you all. I think that our best teachings and our best ways to be of service for one another is to draw upon our personal experience and then be able to share that in a very meaningful way that helps you grow and helps you see that, because I think sometimes from the outside, people could look at other people's lives and think, wow, that person has it all together, or wow, their life seems so perfect, or wow, things seem so easy. Has life been easy at times? Yes. Has life been challenging at times? Yes. Are we in a growth moment right now? Yes. The Antler and the Antler Collymore and the Antler Redmond and the Antler Lindsay. Yes, that's Jamie's last name is Lindsay. We've all been going through a season of call out. And so with that transformation, it stirs things up. It causes us to take a pause and to really go within and reset in many ways. And this is a challenge moment for sure. I would say since everything happened, I look out here at where the house used to be, and I can give you guys a view so you can kind of see. That's where the house used to be. Is no longer there. So I look out, the window, and there's a reminder of what was there and where they are now. And this house is beautiful, but that was a big change, right? And watching my dad, he's at the 28-day mark today, which we're celebrating that he had a stroke. And in the fall, he had a couple silent heart attacks as well. So his heart is on the mend. Let's say that his heart is on the mend. And so he has to be really mindful. He has to be very careful, and his heart is on the mend. That's what I will say. But he has to be careful. He's had to slow way down, right? And even some of the medications that they put him on has slowed him way down. It's dialed down everything. And so that's a reset moment. When a physical challenge like that comes, it stops everything. You have to stop in your tracks. You have to look at your life. You have to look at what you're thinking. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything but be with yourself. And I think sometimes when these, tragic situations happen, people would ask the question, why is this happening to me? And I think if you've been following along in my world for a long time, I've been saying this probably for 20 some years, things don't happen to us, they happen for us. This is kind of like common lingo now in the world. Kind of like meditation was a foreign thing 20 years ago, and now everybody knows about meditation. Same thing with energy work, chakras, Reiki. But things don't happen to us. We are active co-creators. We're active participants in our reality. So could my dad have prevented? Probably. Are there lifestyle choices he could have changed a long time ago? Absolutely. But here's where we are, right? And so this is something that I want you all to know, is that wherever you are in your life, if you have a circumstance or situation that you maybe feel like you can't change, or you're questioning why am I in this situation? How did I get to this place? Why do the crazy things happen? Yes, could you have changed a number of things along the path? Absolutely. But you are where you are now. And I think that's one of the most important things, is to come back to the present moment. This is what I was saying to my mom and dad. You don't have to think about all the appointments that you have coming up. You don't have to think about how you're going to get from point A to point B. Let us help you. And you just need to be right here, right now. Be in this moment. What are you doing today? What are you thinking in this moment? How are you feeling in this moment? How are you utilizing this moment? And this is for all of us. We come back to the present moment so that we can power up the present moment. Many of us, I think, we use each moment in a very, I want to say, haphazard, sloppy, not conscious way. This is why it's so important for us to spiritually grow, to spiritually wake up, to spiritually be aware, so that we can be aware enough to know what we're thinking in each moment and choose to shift it. Be aware enough as to what we're feeling in each moment and choose to shift it. Be aware of what we're consciously creating in each moment and be willing to shift it. Because you and I'm creating my reality. You're creating your reality. I'm not creating your reality. You can't create my reality. I'm in my power and you're in your power. Now, sometimes it seems like there are external circumstances and situations that happen that seem out of our control. And it seems like someone else is dictating or determining our fate for us. But we all agree consciously, collectively, to this experience. This is why I've been saying for years, it's so important for us to choose consciously, what are we thinking? Where are the direction of our thoughts? What are we placing our focus on? And this is the time where we need to ditch the distractions and refocus back on our spiritual truth. There are distractions everywhere. There's apparently I don't even pay attention to the news. I think many of you know this. I haven't watched the news in probably 20 years now. I don't pay attention to what the world is saying. I pay attention to what I'm creating. I don't pay attention to what somebody says is good for me or not good for me. I pay attention to what I'm creating. I don't pay attention to what somebody says. Like, I've sat in a lot of the doctor's appointments with my dad and my mom, which I'll talk about in a second too. But, I asked the doctor, I said, well, what can he do to strengthen his heart? Because normally an average heart is functioning at about 70%, right? And they said his heart's functioning at like less than 20. And I said, whoa, that's intense, right? And I said, what can he do to strengthen his heart? He goes, nothing. Now, you and I know there's so much that we can do. I've known this for more than 20 years. We, in our humanness, have 12 strands of DNA. Now, some of you might think I'm off my rocker and crazy. Go research it. I've known this for more than 20 years. We have 12 strands of DNA. Only 2 of those strands are physical. That you and I can get on board with, right? We know that we have 2 strands, a double helix, physical DNA, that determines our physicality. The other 10 strands of DNA, that side says it's junk DNA. Well, if you are a spiritual being, or you have any sort of spiritual truth or any sort of spiritual foundation, you will know that 10 strands, Creator, the divine, would not create us to have 10 out of 12 strands as junk DNA, right? So then we ask the question, and I remember asking this question 25 years ago, what is this junk DNA for? Because I know it's not. I know we're more than physical. We are energetic. We are spiritual. We are mental. We're so much. We're electrical beings. We've got plasmic energy in us and through us. Like there's little light rods, telomeres at the end of our DNA. So I started asking the question 25 years ago, what is this junk DNA for? And this is the spiritual DNA. This is the energetics. This is how we actually come to pass. So knowing that, when someone says there's nothing you can do, my mind goes to not worry, not fret, not holy shit, there's nothing I can do. My mind immediately goes to there's a lot we can do. You were first energy before you were matter. You were first energy before you became physical. So if I want to heal something in the physical, yes, I can support the physical. And I'm doing that with my mom and dad both, because my mom broke her hip and had to have hip replacement surgery. She broke her hip a week ago. And so we've been in and out of hospital a lot. She's at home. I'm being the in-house resident healer, the caretaker, the stay-in nurse, and I would say their spiritual coach right now. And so there's a lot you can do. Yes, I'm tending to, I've got my essential oils. We've got the homeopathics going. We've got the nutrients. We've got the detox spray for, the pure health zeolite. We've got a lot going on. But on top of that, I'm doing energy work because I know the energy comes before matter. I'm running frequencies with the wand that I have, the iTerra wand, and I'm using the Healy device. We're running frequencies to kickstart my dad's heart, to speed up the healing within my mom's hip. You should see how fast she's recovering, by the way. Both my parents. Amazing. And we're working on their mind. So I'm going to go through that all again in a moment because I want to give you what I'm doing here with them, because maybe it's going to help someone in your world. Maybe it's going to help you to know what to do in these situations. And this is one thing that I wrote in my notes today, that I wish that every single person on the planet knew how to self-heal and knew how to do something to feel empowered when the shit hits the fan, or when something happens, or when a diagnosis comes, or when a fall happens, or something crazy goes on, that you know what to do, especially when somebody else is telling you, some system or some other body of work is telling you, sorry, there's nothing you can do. There's a lot that you can do. There's so much that you can do. But if you're looking at it from the lens of, I am only this physical body, and I treat the physical with the physical, you're going to reach limitation. You're going to bump up against the wall. You're going to feel like you can't. You're going to hit limitation for sure. If you look outside that sphere and you realize, okay, 2 of my strands are physical DNA and 10 are energetic and spiritual, made of plasmic energy, then I'm going to focus on all of this over here. Just do the math, right? 10 out of 12. I don't know what the percentage is. Someone could run that quickly on their calculator. 10 out of 12. That's a huge percentage. More than 80% is energetic. 20%, let's just say the 80-20 rule, just to make it easy on my brain today. 20% is the physical. So if I want to heal something and I want to shift something, yes, I can do all the things on the physical level. And I know that all those other things are even more important. And this is where I'm focused with my mom and dad right now, to speed up their healing while we're here for one more week before we fly back down to Mexico. So we ended up extending our stay. So let me tell you a little story, put some context as to why I'm talking about all this today. So for those of you that are just tuning in, or if you haven't heard the news, 28 days ago today, my dad had a stroke, and that we were in Mexico, and we were coming home, I think, a week after. So he's passed through almost his 30 days. So we're celebrating that. He's getting stronger and stronger. In the midst of that, a week ago, my mom tripped on a carpet, fell, and broke her hip. So the ambulance came, and I will say I have to give huge kudos and thank you and honor and gratitude for the ambulance attendants. I met some amazing people. They came all the way from Eganville to here. This was in between Christmas and New Year's. And they came from Eganville all the way here. I met some amazing people, like so kind, so considerate, so gentle, so loving, like just really awesome. And then when I started talking about, because I went in the ambulance with my mom to Mattawa, I started talking about energy and healing. and their eyes lit up and they were so curious. And I had fantastic conversation with them about all sorts of amazing things. So I say that and share that because don't be afraid to share who you are and what you are. I did that in the doctor's office with my dad as well, saying there are things that you can do. There's a lot that you can do. Because I think sometimes we hear these disempowering things and it shakes us up to our core. And we think then we believe in this other system so much, we put so much power in it that it becomes almost disempowering. So I want you to still feel empowered in your life and yourself, that there's a lot that you can do. And I also want to say thank you to the people who do the job that they have as ambulance and the nurses. The Mattawa Hospital, oh my gosh, amazing people, amazing nurses. I gave more hugs to the nurses and people that I hadn't seen in such a long time, people that I grew up with, people that just amazing. It was so emotional and beautiful to know that my mom and dad were in really great hands in Mattawa. And even in North Bay, there was some interesting stuff there. They did some things to my mom that she didn't consent to. And we were like, this is not okay. So there's both sides, right? And I share that too, because there's polarity in the world. There's polarity in the world everywhere. There's polarity in our belief systems. There's polarity in the political system. There's polarity within relationships, within a family, within a home. There's polarity within the medical system. There's polarity within the holistic. There's polarity within the spiritual world. There's polarity everywhere. You've got everything everywhere. This is our time to ditch the distractions and ditch the things that do not serve us. And you will know what doesn't serve you because you're going to feel it. When you hear something or you're tuned into something and you're like, that just doesn't sit with me. That's not your truth. That's not your path. That's not part of your soul's evolution. Turn it off, dial it down, redirect. You do not have to eat and believe every single thing that's been given to you. Like eating bugs, for example. Bugs are never a good thing to eat. But yet people will convince us that that's what we're supposed to do because of all sorts of things, which I won't name here. That is not healthy. Eating parasites is not healthy, right? Like we just know these things. I know these things for myself, so I'm not going to do that, right? When I see certain chips like Lay's and Doritos and stuff, and you look under the microscope and I see these things where there's like little mites and bugs, I'm like, I'm going to hold off on eating those chips for a little while, right? Like when you see certain things and you have certain awareness and you know within your being what's good for you and what's not good for you, then you get to make choices. You all have choices to make in your life. And so coming back to this, I've got a lot of open loops here. I want to say thank you to the ambulance attendants, to the hospital in Mattawa. Fantastic, amazing, supportive, kind, loving, nurturing people. Like, oh my gosh. And even the surgeon that my mom had, he apparently did a really great job. She had a hip replacement. So she fell, she broke her hip, she broke her femur. And what was really interesting too was that I was able to draw upon my entire life of experiences, which I want to share with you because I think this is going to be really valuable for all of you that are having a rebirth moment. Sometimes we forget why we're here. Any of you ever had that experience? Like you think you know why you're here, but then you forget why you're here because you get caught in the swirl of all the world and what the world thinks that you should be doing and maybe what is good and what's not good or what, I don't know, all these things. I kind of forgot a little bit why I was here. I'll be honest with you. I felt that for a number of months where I was kind of flailing around a little bit and moving in and out of these spaces being like, well, what next? Like I've done so much in my life. What am I here to do? And I've been asking that question. And I do that regularly. Like, show me how to be of service. I surrender to the divine will. And in this experience, I have been called up in all the ways that have been important to me along my journey. And I share that with you because you have things in your life that you have mastered, that you have well practiced, that you have naturally been drawn to, that in the dire straits situation, when the shit hits the fan or when you're called up and you're called into service, you're going to be looked at for these particular things. Like, for example, in our family situation, my sister, she's amazing at organizing. Like you want to get stuff done and you want to have things organized, you want to have a calendar put in place, you want to have a binder put in place. She is amazing. She's on it one time. So not to say that was her only role. She was in the hospital with me too. We went up to North Bay every day. She was here with my dad over the holidays. But you know, when you have like certain things that you naturally excel at, you will be called up. And we question sometimes where we're like, what's my role in all this? If you just be and you just show up, the world will call you up. You don't have to fight so hard. You don't have to figure it out so much. Like, what am I here to do? Live, be. What do people come to you for? What are you drawn to? What do people ask of you? My brother's role, He's amazing. He's an incredible cook. So he's been preparing the meals for my mom and dad. He knows how to fix anything, plows the yard, does all the practical, tactical things, right? My role is the healer. My role, I'm right now drawing upon, I said this the other day in a quick video I did, I'm drawing from my physiotherapy placement clinic. When I was 18 and 19, I thought I was going to become a physiotherapist. So at the Mattawa Hospital, who apparently he still owns the clinic over there to this day, I did a physiotherapy placement with them because I thought I was going to become a physio. I'm so grateful that I have that knowledge right now, because with my mom and her not being able to get in and out of bed easily or up and down and all the things, I'm aware of the exercise. I'm aware of that knowledge. I have that within me to know how to help care for her. Fast forward a few years after that, when I went to university and I studied health sciences and I studied everything having to do with anatomy and physiology. When I saw the x-rays in Mattawa, so I went with my mom, it was in the ambulance, which was a whole other experience. I'd never been in an ambulance before. So I'm in the ambulance, get there. I talked to the technicians the whole time. And then we went in and we were waiting. While we're in the waiting in the room and the nurses are coming and checking on her, we're waiting for, radiologists to come in and do the x-rays. I'm doing energy work on my mom. I was massaging her feet to keep her calm. I'm like using prayer work. I'm pulling out all the things that I have studied and learned for my whole life, right? Meditation since I was 14. My whole life as a healer. I'm drawing upon all this information. You have that too. I want you to think about this for your own self. What have you mastered? What have you already done in your life that people naturally will come to you for? That's a big part of your soul's calling. That's why you're here. But we underestimate it. We think it's like whatever, right? So anyways, when I was in the radiography room and they're doing the x-rays, right away I saw the femur and I was like, and it looked like a chicken bone. It broke. And she came back over and she's like, do you see that? And I was like, yeah. And she said, it's broken. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. And because of my history and background in anatomy and physiology, it was very clear for me as to what I was seeing. And then knowing that, so that's coming from another part of my experience. Fast forward to when I was a nurse's aide in between my university years. I got to work at the nursing home in Mattawa for 2 or 3 summers, and I was a nurse's aide. I'm so grateful that I have had that experience, because helping my mom, I could help give her a sponge bath. I could help her do all the things that she needs to do. Same thing for my dad. You will draw upon your life experience. Ditch the distractions, the confusion, what the world thinks you should be doing, or what's going to make money, or what's going to be good, or we just need to stop all that. We have to come back to simplicity now. I'm being called up. You're being called up. We're all being called up all the time. Life will give you situations, not to challenge you, but to draw you up, to draw out the best in you. So if you can, look at the challenging situations that you might be facing right now and ask yourself, what is the best of me that could rise up? What is the best quality that I have practiced, that I have mastered within myself, that I could call up, that I could show up, that I could be of service, that I could share, that I could shine? I'm using all the things. Energy work on my mom and dad daily, my knowledge of frequency devices, my knowledge of mindset. I gave them a prayer and a mantra to do every night before bed. They're doing it. I hear them. I see them. Every day in every way, they're getting better and better. We're working on all the things. My history of aromatherapy, homeopathy, herbology, physiotherapy, anatomy and physiology, nurse's aid, meditation. I'm drawing upon every aspect of what I came to this planet to do, to be, and to master. What are you being called up into? It's simpler than you think. We overcomplicate everything. We look out at the world and we think, I should be more of that. I should be less of that. The world thinks, oh, I should probably do that because that's where the money is. I should probably do that because that's what, somebody thinks that I should be doing. I should do that because that's what's trending. There's so much distraction. And I will say it firsthand. I found myself getting caught in that distraction over the last year. Shifting and pulling and moving and swaying in different ways. I am a creative being. I will always come up with amazing creative ideas. Like Aria came up with a really great creative idea that we're going to help her launch. But I share this because you get to create anything you want. You get to live life in any which way that you want. It takes some things, though, to be able to do that. And this is why I wish that every single person on the planet knew how to first self-heal. If you know how to self-heal, get your mind straight, get your emotions straight, know what's good for you, know what's not good for you, know how to self-heal, know how to tap into energy, know how to do energy work on each other. I had this vision and dream when I first did my Reiki master back when I was 25, that I wish the whole world would get attuned to Reiki so that everyone had the ability to self-heal. I feel like I'm re-anchoring that again. I feel like I'm returning back to simplicity, ditching the distractions, ditching what the world thinks, the trends. Forget the trends. Who are you? What are you here to do? What's your unique gift? What's your way to light up the world? How are you called into action? How are you being called to show up? Simplicity, 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 simplicity. You know who you are. You know what your being knows you. Your soul holds the truth of who you are and what you came to this planet for. And it wasn't something small. I can guarantee you that. We've adopted the small. We've adopted the little. We've adopted the distractions. You're so much more than that. You're radiant. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're brilliant. You're powerful. You are a living creator. What are you doing with your creator energy? What are you doing with your life? What calls you into action? What calls you into service? When shit hits the fan, who are you asked to be in that moment? This is who I'm being asked to be in this moment. Do I miss my kids? Yes. Is Aria here with me right now? Yes. I'm so grateful. Do I miss the boys and Gabriel? Yes. But this is where I'm called to be right now. And when you get present to right now, you get present to your power. When you get present to what is around you, what circumstance is happening, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, then you get to see from a different perspective. Then you get to make change. Then you get to have a different choice based on who you are, based on your spirituality. You get to return to the basics. You get to return to your truth, capital T. Get rid of the distractions. Return to the truth. So I believe that we're at a time now where we're shifting back to what's natural. You're going to see a lot of that this year. I've been thinking and contemplating because I've had 3 weeks off, which has been beautiful. Actually, I've been very grateful to have 3 weeks of downtime for many reasons. And I've been contemplating and really feeling into the world and where we're going. And I'm excited for where the world's going. I'm excited for where you're going. I'm excited for where I'm going. I'm excited for where all of us are going. Because I believe you're going to see some really powerful revelation moments. We've seen a lot of revelation moments in the last year, but I think you're going to see even more this year. I think things are they've already been cleaned up, but I think you're going to see even more cleanup. I think you're going to see even more public stuff come into the light, to the surface, which is going to give people an opportunity to shift, have a different perspective, to look at things from a different lens. You can either believe that everything's against you or everything's for you. You can either believe that everything's happening to you or everything's happening for you. You can either believe that you're so empowered that you have the choice that you can self-heal, or you believe that you can't. This is the discernment. This is the sifting period. And this is a time where we get to grow through it all. You get to grow through every moment. You get to grow through grief. You get to grow through challenge. You get to grow through uncertainty. You get to grow through confusion. You get to grow through maybe you made some choices that weren't so great along the way. That's okay. Your body is resilient. Your body follows the energy. So you get your energy straight, you get your mind straight, your body will come online. It can self-heal. Doesn't matter what biological age you are. I've been looking a lot at the Gregorian calendar. Here's just a little side conversation. I believe that we're supposed to have 13 months. Based on the lunar calendar, if it was all even, which I believe things in nature are simpler than what humanity has made it. I don't think it's supposed to be as complicated as, is there 28 days or 29 or 30 or 31 in this month? I think it's supposed to be as simple as 28. 28, 28, 28, 28, 28 times 13, which gives you your 365. When they take out a month, they create confusion. I believe we're going to come back to that this year. And if you look at that, Gabriel and I did this on a calculator yesterday, and he said, well, technically, we're not into the year 2025 from the lunar calendar. I think it's like 2022 or something like that, or 2020, I can't remember. And I said, well, can you just like calculate my biological age, right? Technically, from that perspective, I'd only be 44 instead of 46, about to be 47. So time, you guys, It doesn't matter your biological state. It doesn't matter what age you are in your body. You are resilient. Time is not what it thinks. Your age is not what you think. Your body is not what you think. Well, it is what you think. It's your energy. You are so much more. And I think all of that's going to come to the surface. And Gabriel and I are on a mission this year to really bring a lot of that forward for you all, to bring the truth forward about what your body is, what your DNA is, what your energy is. We're coming back to the simplicity and the basics. So you're going to see some changes from us this year too, which we're really excited about, because I feel like I'm coming back to what I've always been and who I've always been, and come back to my purpose truly, and not get lost in the distraction and what people think is going to be good for us. Or, if we're playing big or small. I've never played small. I've listened to Source the whole way through, and I'm going to continue to listen to Creator Source the whole way through, because it's always led me to the truth, and it's always led me to greatness. So when you listen to something else, and you listen to the distractions, and you listen to the trends, it's all illusion. And so if you follow illusion path, you'll be taken down a very confusing path. If you come back to spiritual truth and focus your energy there, something magical always happens. Okay? So let me just take a pause. I'm going to read some comments, and then I want to share with you kind of the things that I think are important if you are shifting through something, to get back on point, get back on purpose, and really be able to make a difference for people. Because again, I wish everyone could learn what Gabriel and I know and what we've mastered over our life, because our life has been that of energy healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, mental healing, the spiritual, the energetics, the meditation, manifestation, intuition. Like, this has been our life. And I wish every single person could master those core areas, because if you can, then you never feel disempowered. Shit can hit the fan, something could happen, and you have the power within you to choose something different if you have the tools and you know how. So let me just see here. Hi, Angie. Yes, you've wondered this about yourself, right? I know, it's so good. Love your strength. Thank you so much, Peter. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. What's showing up in front of you now in this moment? What's showing up in front of me now in this moment? So much, Angie, and thank you for the question. I could speak. I have a couple things. So I'll go big, and then I'll come in and I'll laser focus. So what's showing up big right now for the world is this. I think the world is still in a half illusion. Okay. I think that there's a lot of people who have had a lot of awakening. I think back 15 years ago, Gabriel and we started a movement called Soul Awakening. We had Soul Awakening retreats. We had Soul Awakening website. We had Soul Awakening mastermind. We had soul navigation. There's still a lot of people who are waking up. There's a lot of people who are awake, but there are further layers to go. We wake up piece by piece, layer by layer. And I think that there's a lot of the world that needs to still have a lot revealed. That's why I'm saying I think this is still the time of revelation, where the curtains are being pulled back, where there's a lot that's going to be revealed. A lot of people are going to be shocked this year. I think a lot of people already are shocked, which I'm excited about and I love, because the information that's coming out now is stuff that I've known since I was 18. And that's a long time to hold that information, but it wasn't safe to talk about a lot of those things because people would probably think you're crazy or lock you up or whatever, right? And a lot of people did. That happened. And I believe that Creator Spirit has kind of had me hidden a little bit because of that, because there's a bigger purpose that I, myself and Gabriel are being called up to. So I think that there's revelation. I think our role within that revelation for Gabriel and I is to help people sift through the nonsense and really get clear. I think our role in that revelation is to speak into the truth, and to have people feel grounded within themselves no matter what. Because what happens is when revelation happens, things get revealed, right? It shocks us to our core because we have belief systems that tell us the world is this, when that could just be one big ass illusion. So when that starts to fall apart, it can feel really wobbly and shaky. And so I think another place that Gabriel and I are, what's being revealed to us is that we're meant to hold the safe space for people, like a sanctuary, to hold the safe space so that people can feel okay, that there's no judgment here. This is just an unraveling. This is a revealing. And in the revealing, there's an unraveling. And then we grow, and then we see the light and we see the truth. Thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of the Rising Consciousness Show. For more high vibration conversations, meditations, energy activations, and tips and tools on creating your most exceptional life, we lovingly invite you to connect with us at academyoflight.ca. The website is www.academyoflight.ca. It is time to create your heaven on earth experience, and we look forward to sharing this beautiful journey with you.
You're listening to Rising Consciousness, yeah.
Woo!
Woo!